One of the things that's always amazed me is the astounding ability that SJWs have to create a problem out of absolutely nothing. They can take such a minor issue that no one cares about, air conditioning for example, and they can twist it to sound like one of the most racist and sexist things ever and then lie to a bunch of other people and get them on board with calling this the most racist and sexist thing ever and treat this absolute non-issue as if it is a huge fucking problem. These things are an amazing source of comedy, but it stops being funny the moment you realise that people actually buy into this fucking bullshit. And this video that the BBC has brought to us is a fine example of this. Now, the BBC promoting a video about this must mean that this is obviously something very major. One of the faces of the BBC was actually raping kids for fucking decades, and they didn't think that was too much of a problem. So the fact that they decide to be vocal about this means that whatever's in this video is obviously a huge, serious fucking problem.
Ever shared this? Or this?
No, because I'm not a 14-year-old girl on Tumblr.
Nothing like a good reaction gif, right? But you've probably noticed the most popular ones are of black people being dramatic.
So in a niche form of expression on social media, it seems that black people are actually the popular choice, which is a good thing from an SJW point of view, because I thought their entire purpose was to raise minorities up and promote their inclusion, but you just can't help but feel like there's a complaint coming, can you? But what could the complaint be? If the BBC's putting something like this out, then surely it must be something very serious. Surely it must be something outlandishly racist that promotes the hatred of black people. It surely must be something as extreme as that, and it's not going to be something extremely minor and extremely fucking stupid that's going to make me want to kill myself.
This is digital blackface.
Ocean man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. Ocean man, voyage to the corner of the globe is a real
Blackface is when a non-black person uses makeup to blacken up. Minstrel shows depicted black people in all sorts of negative ways. They were mocking, demeaning stereotypes, and they exaggerated black people's facial features and their expressions. And digital blackface is the 21st century version of that.
Why is all the footage in black and white? Why is all the footage so damn old? Could it be that this thing possibly hasn't been a problem since those times because it just doesn't fucking happen in media anymore? Could it be that this just actually isn't a fucking problem?
White people using GIFs to perform some kind of exaggerated blackness.
I don't actually associate exaggerated facial expressions with black people, because there's tons of reaction GIFs of white people doing the exact same thing. It's kind of stupid to associate exaggerated facial expressions with a race. That's fucking retarded. And the funny thing is that most people probably wouldn't have stereotyped that before, but a lot of people will now do that because of your fucking video.
And that's not all. Let's talk about white people using dark-skinned emojis.
That would actually be a very good reaction GIF. I should make that into a reaction GIF. Link is in the description.
This is a form of cultural appropriation.
Black is a race, not a culture. Some cultures can essentially be race exclusive, but being black itself is not a culture. As for cultural appropriation, don't you worry. We're going to have a nice big chat about that one day. Also, nice accent. Where'd you get that from? The white devil.
Paying little respect to someone else's culture and using it however you please.
No. I'm not going to comment on that just now. That whole cultural appropriation bullshit is getting its own fucking video.
So what's wrong with white people posting these GIFs and using these emojis?
Absolutely fucking nothing!
Well, black people are not here for other people's entertainment.
So every black comedian, every black actor, every black musician, you're fired. Get the fuck out. You're not here for our entertainment, despite the fact that you've built a career and have dedicated your life to doing exactly fucking that.
We're not symbols of excessive emotion, and we aren't here to make you look more sassy, more sexy, or more street.
More street? You associate black people with that thug street life? That's racist.
We don't want to be seen as having two-dimensional personalities.
You're just jealous because you've got the personality of a bus couch.
Let us decide for ourselves how we wish to be perceived.
That's not how that works. You can influence how people perceive you, but at the end of the day, you have absolutely no control over what the end result will be. For example, I want to be perceived as a sexy Adonis with a 16-inch dick. I want to be perceived as... not guilty. I want to be perceived as the man married to Catherine Waterston. Just saying her name is making my trousers tight, man. I'd brush my teeth with her shit. Even right now, I can tell that you want to be perceived as this very rational, intellectual, very, very intelligent person. But, however, I perceive you as a fucking...
Now, I'm not saying you have to be black to post these GIFs. But what I am saying is think about what you're doing. Ask yourself why you're always drawn to that GIF or that emoji.
Before you post a GIF or emoji, waste a few minutes asking yourself irrelevant, pointless, autistic questions.
So that's my view, but what do you think?
I think this is a prime example of SJWs turning an absolute non-issue into a giant fucking issue, and they are extremely good at doing that, and the reason that they're extremely good at it is because you have a lot of SJWs employed in roles and universities and so on based on, you know, fighting racism, fighting discrimination, promoting diversity, so on and so on. But if it's discovered that the problems regarding these things are actually quite small and not really worthy of spending 6 figures a year on a person to manage it, then what will happen is that person will lose their job and their big fat fucking salary. So what do they do to keep their jobs and their big fat fucking salaries? Well, what they do is they take tiny little fucking problems, turn them into gigantic fucking problems, and act like they're the only ones that can solve them. It's the equivalent of a firefighter being worried about losing his job, so he goes around lighting fucking fires. I just don't understand why SJWs focus on tiny, mundane shit like this, instead of focusing on the big, actual, huge problems that you think they would be fucking screaming about. Hey SJWs, in Muslim countries they persecute gays, minorities and treat women like property. The alt-right's numbers are growing through your own actions. In Chechnya, they're rounding up gay people and actually putting them into death camps. Never mind that fake Nazi shit you're always complaining about. This is some real Nazi shit. You know how much you hate Nazis. Sargon just said something edgy.
It's Count Dankula on YouTube. Everybody should subscribe.